There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. 40-point bounce already on NASDAQ and going. Right into the 790. Beautiful. It's almost like this stuff works. It's almost like this stuff works. Climbing on up right there. Apple is 190.25. Looking across the market, I'm telling you, man, the too much too fast pre-market move is one of my safest setups. The thing, it's almost uncanny how well it works. It's my most confident setup. Everything is red on the X's. All 10 of them are heavily red. Everything on the top 10 is red. Even Nvidia is now down 0.4%. 18,800 right there. Nice little top wick. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Top wicking right off at 800, which is a retest of the 0700 range. If they hold that, obviously we'll see to play back down once the 30 minutes is over with, but most likely they're going to recapture some of that support at the moment. We have liquidity still lower at 750, which is weekly lows, and we have icebergs there. Let's take a look at ES. They have 5,300, however, they have icebergs below and then 5,275. If you want to show how I really like to play confidence moves with icebergs, yesterday was a textbook maneuver for icebergs. We had a very strong green up day, and then they hovered around the morning high, and they started placing very large icebergs, 2 by 3,000 icebergs, which is something we haven't seen in a long time. And then promptly after those 3,000s filled, we dumped over 30 points on ES. So it's fantastic. If you can be patient and wait for those icebergs, you can catch yourself great moves. Fantastic stuff. There goes Nvidia on down. Keep an eye on them as they're going to drive a lot of pressure. We have this iceberg of 173 right here. Get my YouTube sit there situated. 800. Just riding this up. Going to roll your stops down. And then once they flip this thing, overall, I would look for a retest of the low outside of the first half hour. But we still have to have a little bit of green action off of the first 30 minutes. YM still getting smoked, so little rotation. Still holding. Why is this doing this? Okay. All right. 5281, another iceberg sitting here. We got a CVD that's straight red. And once again, all of my indicators are off of the subchart. That's because I updated them, that's why. Subchart. There we go. A little bit of red. Let's go take a look at oil. Like I said, I'm heavy on playing downside on oil. I think there's a great R&R for downside moves. They've been on a rampage the past couple of days, and they tapped, most importantly, support and resistance flip, and then back-end analysis, it's got a broadening formation, which is about the furthest extent I get into patterns the top side. So I think there's a great R&R to short its oil, which I'm currently doing on this move here. There's a quick test of 800, which is right where I thought it was going to retest, and then coming back off. And then if this candle were to hold, we'll play that back down into the overnight lows. And then if it breaks overnight lows, we'll play down into about 720, 700, but that's going to be the extent of it here. Anything more than that is literally just setting trailing stops and letting the market do its thing. But we'll see. I've been doing well this past week, so I'm making sure I stay extra disciplined, sticking to my trades and plan. Beautiful. Opportunity times where a good amount of time, no touchable, deviate from plan. There you go. Stick to your plan, Robert. Stick to your plan. It's great stuff, buddy. Great stuff. Alrighty. Another top wick right there. See what we can do. Still holding. still holding. Oil is still selling off. Good. On your swing trades, what is your thought process on setting the stops? My swing trades are primarily based on thesis. So I will stop at a trade based on what I'm seeing on the charts. I do all my front end management with the trade in terms of getting the position and then exposing myself to whatever kind of dollar amounts I'm looking for. But I'm getting out of a trade on a swing trade based on thesis. And the reason why I don't necessarily always place hard stops is because I'm in constant management of the trade. I'm always shorting positions against it, tackling different areas of defense, or putting on positions in order to recapture one side of the trade. So if I'm not doing any kind of management, I absolutely will set stops, hard stops, but most of the time I'm doing some sort of management. We have double top wicks off the 800 area on NASDAQ. If it closes over 800, I'd look to come up to 830. If it rejects this on a VPA, I'll close out any long exposure, and I will look to play down into the 750 and then down to the 720 area on NASDAQ. NVIDIA is still selling. VIX is still going up, and TLT is still getting crushed back under 90. A lot of icebergs hitting the tape now on 5280 with a CVD of about a negative 12 Dow. And oil is still selling off. Beautiful. Beautiful. 5280 down to 5275, which is about the weekly low, still coming off here. Seeing what we can do. Dropping back over 785. We are getting a nice qualified rejection off of 800 here. And anything more will bring us down to the 750 area. No love for love this morning. 5280. Say 20. 750. We'll see what happens. Could you do a tutorial on setting stops on futures contracts? I feel like I'm doing it right, but not at all. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Big old bottom wick, hammered candle on NASDAQ, back up to 800. Sweet. Now let's see if we can recapture 800, and we'll go to 830. 808, 807. Once we hold over 800, we'll try to play up to the 83, 84 area. Still going. I need some music. Apple's flying. Nvidia's coming off hard. Microsoft is flying. Dow is getting crushed. Russell is down. XLF is coming off hard here. We've got 18.810 right now. Strong green moves. Right up into it. Right up into it. Just keep on setting trailing stop on this until we get to 8.3, and then we'll play to the upside. 830 is going to be the first target here once we capture over 8, and we're climbing back up. And I would probably, if I was probably sitting in your shoes, I would set a stop beyond 794 here. So approximately 793, 792 if you're long NASDAQ. If you're looking at ES, I would probably look to setting stops. Let me flip over to ES here. Setting stops at about... Oh, man. Well, that's a very, very tight move. It's only 3 points, so I wouldn't be touching that one, which is why I'm playing ES, or NASDAQ. Where's the VIX at? The VIX is at 1411 right now. It is up 9%. So if they hold the VIX, obviously, we'll look for play lower. If not, down we go. Another top wick right here. We have 18,750 here. Blew my top step funded account. I didn't know they raised the MLL as you go into profit. Yep, they do. It stops at the days at your contract or your account size. Stops at your account size. So. Fell asleep with a put position open yesterday. Worked out. Nice. Nice. I will play some pretty strong SPX contracts today if I continue to see what I want to see here on the S&P, but I need to wait for the first half hour. What's up, DJ? How's your birthday? It's your birthday. All right. Still holding over 800. It's your birthday. Yeah, how's your birthday? I guess either one. Is that a Little Wayne reference? Did you already give your take on last night's NASDAQ red? Well, my write-up yesterday says that I wasn't ready to play downside strictly because they were bottom wicking everything and they had a strong green close. However, the POC shows that we're not like I was. If I wanted to go long yesterday into the upside, I wanted to see the POC shift lower, but we did not get that. In fact, if you go look at the 4-hour volume analysis, the image I put in there, all of the POCs are strictly center mass. So all shots are landing right in center mass, which means the buyers and sellers are both equivalent here. We're as euphoric as everyone is on Nvidia, the market is still selling off every single little pop, just like they were buying up every single little buy up. And then I gave an example of prior upsides that you began to see the POCs shift low as we start hitting demand and the buyers hit to ensure transact is higher. So for me, this sell-off here is that we hit that 53.30 and that mid-target on NASDAQ, and they rolled it back over. It's just we're simply not able to get to the main POCs that are right smack dab in the middle in order to get higher. So if this does sell off today, and then we get a big bottom wick again into tomorrow, and that POC finally shifts lower, then we could possibly see a move back up to the top of the range. Until then, the sellers are going to continue to dump into euphoria. Every single attempt higher is dumped over because the market knows that we have tons of exit liquidity. The market has done a great job of getting everybody euphorically bullish, and now they're going to start dumping on us. It does it every time. Don't be exit liquid. 8782 coming down to 750. Don't be exit liquid. Nvidia is still selling 1113. How are we looking on data? Pretty light. Pretty light today. Not much going on. It's 18785 right here. Hanging on. Bottom wicking. Apple's still going high. Microsoft is still going high. Nvidia is still plunging down. ES is about to put a new low in. NASDAQ is trying to get back down there. VIX is still holding high 14, 12, and 20 and going back up. Beautiful stuff. Once NASDAQ breaks here, I'll look for a retest back down. And then once we take out the low of the day, we'll try to hit that 750 area. Now, you have to be careful in the 730 area on NASDAQ because that is weekly low. So it's kind of what we talked about last week is that if you are looking for a good opportunity and you don't like playing downside, wait for the NASDAQ to get down to weekly low levels. I can almost guarantee you that it's going to bounce off that weekly low to some degree. I don't know how much. It could be 10 points. It could be 100 points. But I bet you they will bottom wick off that level. A little bit of red still dropping here, 780. You see that the CVD is continuing to drop on ES and NASDAQ, and NVIDIA is dumping right now. We're kind of fluttering right around the 780 area. When will you swap to September on Bookmap? Probably pretty soon. Whenever the volume switches over and the liquidity switches over, I will do the same. Do you keep a daily chart open on one of your screens? Not actively, no, but I do track it. I mean, it's the first thing I track in the morning time. I do all my analysis on the daily, weekly, and then I step it back. Once I'm done with that, I flip over to the 4-hour chart, which mostly I go over to my volume analysis chart, which is strictly for the POCs and volume. TOT is getting smoked again, yeah. Yeah. What's up, Pastor? How you doing? Be very patient today. Yesterday offered us a lot of patience. Today will as well. Oil is still getting destroyed, and I'm still holding short from there, and I'm short from 80.45 on oil. And I'm going to continue to hold short on that one. Probably down to 79 if I can try. Actually on both. I'm actually short on both prop and IBKR. I was pretty confident on that oil position. I love when we have. If you want to use patterns, in my opinion, that's the way to do it. Is you want to correlate your patterns with structural data. You don't want to trade off. You don't want to trade off of patterns, but if you can correlate them, they work out pretty well, especially broadening formations. Have you ever talked about any kind of checklist that goes through you while you're reviewing in the morning, making notes of little things like weekly low? Yeah, I've talked about it before in a tier 2 call. But for me, it all comes down to, I mean, I know as redundant as it is VPA, is that I'm looking for extremes. The first thing I'm going to look for when I open my charts are extremes. Where are the extreme highs, where are the extreme lows, and then I go into extreme volume. Do we have any major volume influx or outflows? And that's where I'm going to make note of things. That really keeps you grounded so you don't go chasing moves. Let's see. Here is all of NVIDIA's GEX for Friday. And let me take a look at SPX as well. Let me take a look at the flow line. Friday is the 31st. 52.75 is the overwhelming GEX for SPX. And these are Friday strikes. And then let's take a look at the flow line as well. We have PCE coming up in GDP. The flow line right now is negative across the board, except for Apple. Oil still coming off. Yep. Still dropping back over. Trying to see if I can get that 79.40. Now, as bearish as I am on oil today, I'm going to look for an exit about 79.40 on this baby. I'm going to currently set my stop approximately 79.90, 79.985 and continue to ride it. But I think we're going to get moved down to 79.40 here. $79.60 still dropping. Beautiful, beautiful waterfall on oil. I've already stopped out of my NASDAQ long. That red candle hit my stops, so I'm flat again on NASDAQ. The only thing I've got open at the moment are my CL shorts. Why would CL not come down to 78.70? It could. It very well could. It's just I don't like to opine on too aggressive of a move. So for me, once it recaptures 79.40, obviously we don't have crystal balls. Apparently we have them with microplastics. What I would rather do is just roll down my stop down to 79.60, 79.70, and just take my hands off. And then if it does get down to 78.70, cool, I'm good to go. I'm good to go there. But I don't want to try to stretch my legs for that. $18,820 down to $750. What is happening to the airlines? All major airlines have gapped down and are getting crushed. Let's see. If I had to guess, most likely what happened in Israel last night, maybe. Israel killed a bunch of civilians. Maybe a little bit of geopolitical risk, possibly. I don't know. I'd have to look around the news. Boeing is up nicely, though. What is, let's see, LUVAL. What are they doing? American Airlines gapping down as well. Yeah, they're getting crushed. Oh, doctor won't hook me up. Yeah, me and my neighbor have both been trying to see who's the first one who can get it. Oh, he texted me a couple of days ago, said he got it. I was like, darn it. He's been rubbing it in my face all week. All right, there's NASDAQ to the top of the range. Should have listened to you about Amazon long yesterday. Yep, Amazon was the R&R long there. I didn't take it myself, but I'm kind of juggling like 10 different things here. NASDAQ's climbing up nicely there. All I'm going to do here is continue to manage my oil trade and just see what the first half hour. I've already just stopped out of my long. I don't want to jump right back into one. So I'm gonna watch that. See if I can build any liquid on Bookmap and then just manage current trade. A38. Beautiful. Beautiful. Off topic, I don't have this laptop. Microsoft Surface Pro. I do have a Surface Pro, and I love it. I bought it 2 years ago, and it's a year and a half ago. It's fantastic. It's the closest thing to an iPad, and it hasn't given me a lick of trouble. Large green flows still. Blasting. I was too scared to short Nasdaq with Nvidia. That's okay. That's okay. Understandable too. You know, when you're in a mania environment, you definitely want to go shorting. I mean, people who are getting smoked trying to short Nvidia. But the time will come. You cannot accept mania to the upside without the mania to the downside too. So the time will come. Volatility. Quit really early yesterday. I'm glad you did. Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Nice large bounce so far on NASDAQ. Too much too fast in the overnight session. Literally the entire pre-market was strong downtrend. And here we are up to 88.40 so far. That's about an 80-point bounce and still going. Still going. What's up, Damien? How you doing, buddy? 18844 still going. Large engulfings. Hope everybody had a fantastic day. We have 859, 5290 here. CVD is still dropping. NASDAQ is climbing as well. I like a tablet with a pen, just trying to make sure the graphics are good for gaming. I don't know about gaming. I haven't done any gaming on it, but it's definitely good for other stuff. VIX is rolling off 1392 again. XLF. What sort of parameters do you for volume alerts? I just put one on NASDAQ and CL, but they were triggering every other minute. Yeah, you can't put them on the first 30 minutes. They'll trigger all the time. So I put on volume alerts for outside of the normal environment style volume. So, for example, if it's 11 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm getting away from the computer, I'll set a volume alert that'll only trip if we have an outlier level of volume. That's it. Otherwise, yeah, it'll trip all the time. Do you think this will be looking at this green too much too fast and waiting for a short opportunity? It very well could, but I really try to apply that in the overnight session. We just had an incredibly strong overnight session. It was down almost 200 points on NASDAQ, and it never actually bought up. So if that was to the green side, I would have shorted the crap out of it at the open. Instead, I bought it just because, it's the other way. So you've got to be able to buy this up. And once this fizzles out, I don't know. It very well could reach back to the downside. But I have to do a little bit of market awareness tied into VPA. I'm not going to short obviously if it's not there, and if Nvidia continues to bounce like it's doing now, then it'll just be right on back up to the middle of the range like we've been doing for a week and a half now, and just buy the dip, sell the ribs. My overarching theme today is watch where the VPA bounces are and watch where the POC shifting on my 4-hour chart. Minecraft. Never understood Minecraft. I play with my kids because the kids love it every now and then, but I can never get into it. All right. Still coming off. This is the first day of the kids being home from school, so you may hear a lot of chitter chatter in the background. And a lot of dad having to go make lunch and breakfast and stuff. They actually were supposed to go to school today, but their teacher sent out a message yesterday saying, if your kids are coming to school, please send them electronics because we're not doing anything. And I was like, well, you are staying home. The flow line right now is into call selling and put selling. On Nvidia, we have they picked up a little bit of call buying, but it's still pretty weak. We are your kids. What is the indicator showing that POC? It's the session volume profile. Imagine telling parents that you refuse to entertain your own students. Yeah. And they're a lottery style STEM school too, so they do a very good job. But holy crap, man! I was like, really? Why even go? And then make it mandatory. VIX is held off to 13.95 after a large red, back down. Oil is still doing very nice. Keep it going, baby. Keep it going. Keep it going. Another large lot sell, 500 on ES, still coming off. After 2 trades on NASDAQ and up by 2% on the port, calling it a day. Beautiful Sir Whiffington. You definitely did not whiff today. Well done. Extraordinary. I really play games, but I want a good laptop if I do with my friends. I usually play League of Legends, Overwatch 2, and some smaller games. Nice. Alrighty. Come on now. Let's do something. I'm exhausted. My son kicked my tail last night. I had to drive over an hour to get him to fall asleep. Slept another 2 hours in my truck. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, Pastor. Make sure you have a good head on your shoulders today. How can we join your group? Links down in the description of the video. So you'll go to the website and choose whichever tier you want to be a part of. Make sure you log in with your Discord as well, and it'll go ahead and automatically link you, and then you follow the link to Discord. Come hang out. I will tell you, though, we don't have any hip-hop in the channel for you to expose, so if that's your thing. 18333. There we go. $52.90. Am I in any trades? Yes, I am. I am short oil at the moment. Other than that, no, I'm not in a NASDAQ or an ES trade. Uno trade at the moment. The next POC on oil, let me zoom out, is down into the 78.70 area temporarily. What was that? I just heard a notification. No way, it just did that. $18.832 top wicking. See what we're gonna do. 52.87. Another large lot sell on ES. 500 lot. $52.88. I'm trying a 719 SPY 580 call swing I got for 9 cents. 580. I don't think we'll go that high. Not even close. Plus, I think we'll see a lot of profit taking here. I do think we'll drift upwards into June, but not that aggressive. But be careful. Yeah, just stop me out. I did not expect to see that, but hey, still a great trade. $52.87. 18.825. Nice large flows beginning to build. We have another iceberg here, which is that's a pretty hefty iceberg on NASDAQ. And they're chasing it down here, which should point to a little bit of reduction from 820 down to 800. $820 right there. What made you short oil? It was at a SR flip, so it was on a macro support retest, which is a prior support that has broken down, and now we're coming up and using that prior support as resistance. It was the first touch of it. We had a pretty strong couple of days, and we had the top of a broadening formation. So for me, I was playing the top wick off of that level. I got a little late entry on it. I didn't quite top tick it, but just the reduction off of it. $18.823. Watch list. What time is it? 10:05 right there. Today is Wednesday. We have no data until 1 o'clock, which is a 7-year bond auction. FOMC at 1:45, and that is it. Tomorrow kicks off the big stuff. We have GDP in the morning, and then PCE on Friday. That 400 lot was put, or can we not tell? This is not options. This is order flow. So actual purchase of the futures contracts or sells. Would the VIX be over 14? Should the market pull back a little, or are they just pumping up? I mean, they did in the pre-market. And now they're just kind of trimming the VIX off, trimming volatility a little bit on down. And we're seeing a little bit of relief, pop back up to 52.90, and then NASDAQ up to 18.840. So just keep an eye on the VIX too. I mean, if they continue to crush the VIX, then we know what happens. We'll just buy back up. You're welcome. Top wicking here. Another red move here, creeping back down. There we go. 816. Nvidia is still dropping as well. Just trying to test it. There you go. There you go. Ow. Bottom wicking. Oh man, this is the patience that we have to do. Is that until we can get beyond one of the POCs on the ranges, we have got to be able to just wait for any kind of swing trade opportunities on the indices. NASDAQ is bottom wicking back up. This should get us to the high of the range again. Apple still flagging 191. Top wick back over 832. Nice little double top right there on NASDAQ. Beautiful little double top. All right, so where we are right now, I am going to look at SPX for the moment. I like this. I like this. Large red flows coming off, double top, 18814. Do you look for the same move off POCs for individual stock swings? Yeah, I do. I do. In fact, let this load real quick. In fact, look at Amazon right here. Do you see how on Amazon they have shifted the POCs downward as they have fallen? So Amazon hitting that 181.17 area, the big red flows on Amazon, it's having the buyer step in, thus putting the POCs at the bottom of the ranges. That's what you want to see to start going long. You want to see the POCs on the longer time frame shift lower so you could show that the buyers are defending with volume at the bottom of the charts. We're not seeing that on the indices. We're seeing the volume come in mid of the charts, which is very mid. This is the 4-hour chart, yes. So Amazon shifted the POCs down to 181.04, and now it's resulting in a large green engulfing candle as the buyers are transacting that demand higher. 183.20. I would look for some resistance on Amazon around 183.70 because that's the next POCs. If they take that out, then I'd probably say we have a qualified move back into the upper 180s. Nice, Brooke. It's one of my favorite indicators for using the volume profile. Is that right there? It's crazy how consistently the volume drops off the face to the first half hour. Yep. First half hour, last half hour. 100%. So yesterday I was working on some stuff at the farm and I found a baby deer. I mean brand new baby deer. Like a day old. It's pretty awesome. Nature is lit. It is. Thoughts on a possible long off NKE? Let me go take a look at NKE. Amazon's still going. NKE. Ooh. Tightening. Look at that wedge it's forming on the daily chart and the 4-hour chart. Is it still live? Oh, yeah, it's still live. But if you've never been up on a baby deer like that, like they won't move at all. So you can literally walk up to it and touch it, and it won't move. It won't move a muscle because it doesn't know any better. Nike is holding the bottom of their range and defending the 9120 POC shift in support. So we have VPA, we have POC shift lower, and it's holding that trend line. So if it closes over 9190, only then would I possibly look for a move back up to 93 on Nike. But I would not play above 93. I would not play a breakout above 93. That's a contained move. To me, that's not actionable yet. If you want to play a slow contained move up to 93, it looks great from here. But I would not make that actionable just yet for me. I would rather play the break of that wedge before I played into the wedge. One time in Tahoe, I found a baby bear cub, and then 10 seconds later, I was chased by its mom. Hey, that's kind of like short in the market. Hey, what's this little red candle? And then you get chased by the 3,000-pound green grizzly. You're welcome, McGurky. Are we in the slow summer morning trading yet? Yeah, I think we are. I mean, we're in an odd time of the year here where we're kind of transitioning into the slower summer months. I think that will happen post FOMC until late June. We'll really start to see it. But the VIX has popped back up to 14, kind of reinvigorating a little bit of volatility. CL is coming off nicely. I stopped out of my CL trade on my props. I'm still holding short on my IBKR account just because I don't have trailing drawdown rules on my personal account. We'll see if I can actually get the move I'm looking for there. ES is quadruple topping on the 5-minute at 52.90. If they fail that, we'll play back down to 80, a pretty tight move. And NASDAQ is, of course, launching because Apple's launching, NVIDIA is starting to creep back up here, and Microsoft is launching. Do I use Replicanto? I don't know what that means. I was chased by a black bear when I was 10. Scared the crap out of me. Found out later I was by the den and it had cubs. Fastest I ran in my young life. Nice. Sometimes it's good to get that blood pumping. I wish when I'm doing fitness, like running for fitness, I could have a black bear chase me. What do you use for the trade copier for Apex? Oh, I use I have Quantower for my Apex trades, and it has the built-in trade copier, which I think is very, very good. I'm very, very satisfied with Quantower. I think they have a great product. The only downside on it is that I can't trade mobile, which to me is actually a good thing. It saved my butt on Monday. If I had Quantower on my mobile, I would have taken a pretty decent loss on my accounts. So in that way, it's probably pretty good. I spend enough time trading anyway at the computers. It's good to get away. Lift that weight or the bear eats you. That's right. All right, let's go take a look at the options data again. Right now, call selling, put selling. Apple's call buying. We have Nvidia is starting to creep back into call buying territory, but otherwise flat. Nvidia options data for the week is centered around 1020 up to 1040. They do have a small node forming at 1150, but all the exposure is center mass 10,000 is 1020, 1050. Looking at the SPX, 5275. 18850's liquidity up here. If we take out the 850, you could play up to 871 here, but it's a very slow creep uptrend, which we've been seeing pretty much every morning for as long as I can remember. I've been popping that collar. Early 2000s rap. That's where I grew up, baby. Call it in the morning. No rain, so yard work. Nice, Damien. I appreciate them. Love it. Love it. Still got my eyes on electric and energy. Excellent. All right, oil is coming on back down. If we could break through the 79.68, I will hold to 79.40. I'll stick to the same game plan here. Beautiful. Still coming off. NASDAQ is 18,843. Alrighty, what are we gonna do? I would love to see some major icebergs. Look at 18,875. Come on, liquidity, shifting liquid higher on NASDAQ. Eight four two. I read an article that said the water would be the commodity of the future. It's definitely the commodity in China. In fact, that's one of the reasons about China not being able to, once they do attack Taiwan, they won't be able to hold it. It's also why they can't expand, is because they have a crunch on water. China's environmental policies are so abysmal, if not existent, that they have pretty much ruined all of their natural water sources. So they have not enough water to feed their people. So they import all of their water, or a lot of their water, from India. And if India were to sever that trade relationship, you could just stand there and wave bye-bye to China. How does India possibly have the surplus water to export, highest population in the world? I don't know. I guess they got a lot of, yeah, they have a lot more sources and, I guess, the processing facilities. 18834. Home Alone house is listed for 5.25 milli. Yeah, the Himalayas. All right, 18844. Let's go look at ES. ES right now is heading up to 5290, trying to recapture 95. Nice little trend up day here. As oil continues to fall, I love it. We're at support again. We could break 79.65, and we're going to head down to 79.40. Exceptional. There's a great representation of why prop firms and real accounts are so different to trade. Prop firms, you have to stop out because of the rules. My normal account, I could care less of any kind of wick. Hang on, baby. Another red candle, 52.87. Nice drop. All right. Texas and the western states are headed down the same road. Well, it's crazy to me that, California had that water crunch, and then they had a bunch of rain, and now they don't know what to do with all the water. They have to pour it back into the ocean. 52.75. Another top wick. So that's a double top on the 15-minute for NASDAQ. And if they fail that, we'll play it back down to the bottom of the range. I'm speculating short right here on NASDAQ to see if I can get a little bit moved down. If this one fails, then I will look to confirm up to the high here. But I'm going to play the double top, see what we can do. See what we can do here. Not sure where it's going to go from here. We do have liquidity on ES down to 52.75. NASDAQ, they have liquidity at 8.75 that they've since removed. Man, 3-6 Mafia they're giving me this morning. Data aggregation. I lost data again. Can y'all hear me? Check, check, check. I just had data come out, or data aggregation notification. Three six Mafia, yeah, they played it. All right, bottom looking back up. If it recaptures the high, I'll get out of this and see where, but I'm going to see if we can get this thing down. Yes, hear me? Good, good. Yeah, that was my once daily data mess up. It seems to do it like once a day. 52.75 is the level today. That's where the GEX is on SPX. Stopped, obviously. I keep getting notifications that everyone is getting whatchamacallit, scammers DMing them from OM names. So I've already removed them from the server. So if you're still getting them, you have to ban them yourself. You have to block them yourself because they're already out of the server. I will never DM you proactively asking you for anything. So. Especially crypto stuff. Failed double top. Bottom wick and raged higher. That was a 70, 60 point candle. What about biotech stuff? Yeah, never biotech stuff. Never biotech stuff. I have done that though. Yes. Man, look at that move. 870. Rampage. Nvidia's climbing. VIX is coming off 1374. Let me see where the GEX is shifting right here. That makes me gun shy to enter another position here. American Airlines is down 16%, the largest decline in 4 years. Wow. Yeah, I got 5275 all day long. Yesterday was 5300, but they rolled it down. I think the data might be a little delayed. They rolled it down to 5275 today. Did something happen with the AA? I haven't seen any major news. Forget about biotech. Yeah, don't do biotech. don't do biotech. Let me see. I'm going to get my Bloomberg going here. $21 billion for credit pool. American Airlines slashed its sales outlook on Tuesday, now expecting revenue to fall as much as 6%. I heard that Memorial Day flights were at like an all-time low. Like the airlines were empty. %16 sell-off, golly. I used to short. American Airlines is one of my safe shorts in 2020, along with NCLH. Those are my two big dogs I used to short. I liked it. Hotel prices are insane. Yeah. What's up, Zalis? How you doing? Put buying is going crazy on AAL. You aren't selling oceanfront property in Arizona. No, it's not me. Not me. Dojied out here. ES is 52.95 up to 300 with 52.75 liquidity here. And we're constantly wicking all over the place, NASDAQ. I'm still trying to get oil to break through 79.66. If I can get oil to break through the support here, I could finally write it down to 79.40, and I could roll my next stop downward. But right now, we are just whipping all over the self on NASDAQ. Whip my hair back and forth. Airlines need to be allowed to go out of business. I agree. I agree. Especially American Airlines. Got to weed out the bad crap. Are you actively doing something to make that happen? I'm squinting my eyes really hard. Oh, man. Let's see where the liquid is. Look at all the liquidity on Bookmap, too. It's all down to 79.20 and down to 78.60. Got to do the mouse wiggle. I like it. That's what the bees do. The bees do the waggle dance to tell other bees where to go. So maybe it's the same thing. Like you do the mouse waggle. By the way, my left hand is completely swollen now because we did a hive inspection yesterday, and I got stung like 78 times. Those 2,000 bailout were a good reminder that profits belong to the company, but risks are for we the people. Yeah. You should write a book called Trading Bees. I like it. What is it about beekeeping that makes it worth getting stung 78 times? I mean, obviously you have wax and the honey you can harvest, but it's just interesting. It's interesting managing the colony and the science behind it. It's pretty fun. Yeah, bees are awesome. It's super interesting, especially like grafting queens and like growing the queens. And for some reason, like if you listen closely, you can hear them humming to Bohemian Rhapsody. That was a terrible dad joke. I apologize. Best Buy. Have y'all been in Best Buy recently? Man, that's terrible. It's one of your worst. Apologize. I don't see any major icebergs on the tape here on ES or NASDAQ. So I don't have the same level of confidence as yesterday. We have liquidity up to 5,300, 52.75. The normal GEX today on SPX, not ES, is 52.75, which is a little bit below where we are. Not much. NASDAQ has 18,900 all over it. Warning range is set. So far, it's a slow grind up, yeah. I got my signs from my books and get my honey from Blue Bear squeezy jars. Bohemian Snickers suppressed. I like it. Yeah, they redid the Best Buy in my area like a year and a half ago, and like 70% of the entire store is storage now, and only 20% of the store is actually go buy stuff and look at stuff. Whereas obviously it wasn't like that always. It's just storing stuff for online sales. That's all it is. It's like I can't imagine that's a good business model anymore. OM is the reason they made me They made the movie Beekeeper. Yeah. So you're saying they told you to mind your own beeswax? Absolutely. Stayed for the puns. Macaulay Culkin was killed by bees. Oh yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah. Mrs. OM is not happy with me. I had to take off my wedding ring because my fingers were so swollen it was cutting off circulation. All right, new high of the day for NASDAQ, still creeping higher. We have RTY, the Russell, is coming off at the moment. So the Dow and Russell continue to come back over here, which I think is a better, more confident trade. There goes oil, 79.50, still selling off. Can I get 79.40, and then I'll officially roll my stop down and take Manos Arribas on that baby if I do that. Great movie. You haven't seen it? I haven't seen it. Although me and Mrs. Wem saw that pop up, and without even seeing the movie, like I guessed the premise of the movie. It was funny. We watched the trailer. NASDAQ blasting, and ES is falling. $59.24. Wanna be a baller, shot collar, 20-inch blade. Oh my God. Couldn't get my wedding ring off without cutting my finger off. It's 135 pounds when I got married, 200 pounds now. Wow. Yeah, it's a big change. ES is coming back up to the resistance of 52.95 here. We've been slow grinding up. It's a 10-point grind up all day on ES. NASDAQ is just straight on blasting, 872. Up 120 points so far. Got married at 18, now 44. Nice. So the too much too fast continues to work. Although I stopped out of my long and then my short. NASDAQ appears it's going to recapture the 900 area, which is the POC. Just a little grind up here. Do you think that NASDAQ will get to pre-market high? I don't know that. I will say if it recaptures 900 and holds, I would play up to the morning high. If it recaptures 900 and bases off of it, then play up to 900. Or if you're already long, just roll your stops up and see if you can get it that far. What I am looking for today, if the market holds this recovery, and the pre-market action was simply liquidity grab, which is looking likely, the first thing I'm looking at is the 4-hour POC shift. That's the first thing I'm looking at. And if that POC shift is lower, sometime tomorrow I will look to put on a midterm call, swing call. Only if I see that parameter, though. Only if I see that. I refuse to be exit liquidity. I will not be exit liquidity. And in order to avoid being exit liquidity, you have to be patient. Pretty crazy how you get a 50-point candle, but no negative 50-point candles. Yeah, but you have to think about what's going on behind the scenes right now. Right now, they are pumping liquidity back into this market like it's nobody's business. All they're doing is rolling out the red carpet for November. They are literally printing money still. They haven't done any kind of major quantitative tightening yet. They're still just been back to easing territory, and the M2 money supply is increasing back to 2021 levels. So they're rolling everything into the narrative of the market, which now they're using NVIDIA as the narrative for the market. They did the same thing in 2021. They're doing it again this time. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to buy up everything. Looking for a reversal using VPA. Do you wait for market structure to shift to enter, or do you try to time the bottom? It really depends on where we are bottoming at. If we're coming into a monthly low for a first touch, I'll do a little timing. I'll try to time it and maybe front run it a little bit. If there's no major pivots, then you have to wait for confirmation. Otherwise, it's not really smart to jump front run. What are the indicators that you will be exit liquidity? Well, when the market is incredibly extended, obviously we're dealing with a little bit different. We're dealing with a little bit different markets than we ever have, and it takes a little bit of adjustment. Where the market just runs for weeks and weeks and never pulls back. That's not a normal market. So it does require waiting through a little bit of period, which you could start to FOMO. But normally when a market extends this far, there's going to be a big move one way or the other. They have to refresh inventory to get back into demand. It's just simply the market works. So I refuse to buy an extended high until I see the parameters on which I can get a good entry. Now that's not a good conversation to have on Twitter, because if you mention anything other than buy the dip and rocket bro, you get ridiculed and ostracized. Anyone with ChatGPT, when's the last time the budget was balanced? I feel like the budget cuts are imminent as debt ceilings increase every few years. $18,900 coming up on deck. I'll tell you what, I posted a YouTube short on Sunday. Doing pretty well. I might do more of that. I don't think people want to watch YouTube videos anymore. They want shorts. Does a shorter expiration hedging influence the long-term upward grind? Yes. Absolutely, yeah. Ostracized, yeah. I think you did, Mr. 50, yeah. Hello. What a couple of fish like you doing out a night like this. I'm having fish tonight. YouTube Shorts has incredible growth opportunity. Yep. That's what I'll have to start doing. Honestly, it'll save me a lot of time, too. I don't have time anymore to edit a, 4-hour video. Fish are friends, not food. Is your call buying supporting this move back up? For which name? Let me go take a look. From a short-dated options market, no. SPY right now is selling puts, but it's not buying calls. Apple is buying calls. Microsoft is buying calls. Tesla is buying puts. Amazon is call buying. The Qs are put buying right now, so they're buying puts into the move. That's it. What a lot of people do is they'll do a 10-minute video and chop up that into a few YouTube shorts as well. You're getting more views from the same content. Hey, there you go. Look at that. You can clip the pre-action analysis of a trade and then skip ahead to the price action where you take your entry, and then again where you sell. See? Y'all are too smart. I need this stuff. To the window. To the wall. Take my small window, move on. Nice, Pastor. Great idea, buddy. That's because everybody has the attention span of a squirrel these days. Yeah. Oh, man. $18,862. Come on now. Give me $79.40 oil. Squirrel. All right. So current environment, I'm still holding short oil down to $79.40, hopefully. I have had one long NASDAQ that worked out really well. And I tried to short NASDAQ on a double top and stopped out barely at break even. And now here we are at almost 18,900, and I haven't taken another trade on it. Have you broke ground on your house yet? It's been a heck of a process getting mine going. Nope. They said it's been too wet. It's not often that's a downside. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing? I'll be starting financial regulatory reporting total shareholder return operations senior associate. That is a mouthful to say. What's State Street Bank on the 17th? Very cool, Jonathan. Congratulations. Senior associate. I'd love to hear more about your process as you go in the future. Congratulations. How do you get to fit that on a business card? You're handing someone a business card that's like an 8x11. I want to create business cards that says CEO Wu-Tang Financial. Full-size paper. Get low. All right. TLT is still coming off 89.10. VIX is holding 13.88. Goes associate 1, associate 2, then senior associate. Nice. Very cool. That's pretty awesome. Financial and regulatory reporting total shareholder return operation senior associate with the State Street Bank on the 17th. Love it. I want insider information. So whatever you got, shoot it to me in DM. Dum dum dum. 18857. Anyone's working for NVIDIA here. Perks are running to Discord, yeah. Bonds are still coming off. They're 79.60 still. We're about to put a new low in on oil. I think we're going to go for 79.40 here in a minute. Liquidity on oil, you see them shifting lower, 79.40. And then what is that? 68? 78? Did I say that right? Or is it 70? I don't know. I probably just butchered that. 78.60 is liquidity on down. 70. Ah, there you go. It's been a while since I've gone up that high. Está muy bien, gracias. Ooh, look at that 5307. Look at that. Building up. 5310. I'm going to have like a 30-day holding period now, though. I'm cooked. Ah, that'll probably help you. That'll probably help you. Will the 2-year and 10-year soon uninvert? Not anytime soon. And if it does, we'll see. It'll probably require a big, hefty move in the markets. Alrighty. 5309 liquidity, 5310. Watching this liquidity shift higher is going to increase my chances of breaching 18,900 on NASDAQ and holding, and then 5,300 and then up to 5,310 into the afternoon. That pre-market was a little sus. Too much, too fast. And we're about to see they're about to ram it down our throats. What volume settings do you use on FinViz to look for possible setups on different stocks? Outlier data. I'll have to get it for you. So it's not necessarily a numerical value. It's just outliers. I want to see. They have a little filter selection that you could choose outlier of the markets. Oh, man. Aller sprechen Sie Deutsch here in the channel. De nada. Today's Harambe's anniversary. Oh, no, it's no good. 52.95. Back and forth right now. Microsoft is starting to kind of have a little bit of top on there. Apple is flagging up at 192. Bond still going new low of the day. There goes a new low of the day on oil, and I think it's 79.40 is coming along. Keep an eye on it. We're about to breach this little liquid right here, 79.49, and that should bring us to 79.40. Fan freaking tastic. Fan freaking tastic. Been a very very slow day. Harambe. I love it. The Harambe indicator. Can anyone explain to me why the heck NVIDIA is doing up at 1140? Mania. Options chain mania right now. It's the same thing we saw with Tesla in 2021. Everyone was doing everything they could to do gymnastics to verify Tesla's value at 3,000. And they're doing the same thing with NVIDIA. There is no reason other than mania, euphoria in the markets. Harambe, yeah, forgot about that. I just bought a house with land. Nice, Kennedy. So my main question now: there's a 5'5" tall room that's as large as the living room that goes directly beneath it. A guy who remodeled said he uses storage, but considered increasing the height of the living room by tearing down that floor, making the living room a partial loft, and the bottom portion downstairs movie section. The question is, would I do that? If not, what would you place in this extra space to be the living room? Man cave. Room is too short for a gym. Well, that depends on your lifestyle. For me, I would do something like a root cellar, for a lot of vegetables. Storage obviously is great for a little extra storage there. I have a similar room in my house, and I've kind of built it in beneath the extra space and the stairs, and I've got it packed with hundreds of pounds of vacuum packed food and for ice and all my old MREs from being active duty. So it really depends on you. And you could always knuck if you buck. That song just came on, so I had to slide it in there. Whiskey Distillery, that'll be good too. Yeah. 79.53, about to breach 79. A Beyblades arena? I haven't heard that in a long time. Armory's a good one. Yeah, all solid recommendations. Solid recommendations. That'd be awesome. Didn't even consider being food storage. Is a better temperature control than basement keller to be used for. Yeah. You'll listen to Crime Mob while you trade. I put it on randomize, and it's giving me a lot of 2000s rap. So yeah, that's what's up here now. What about a Fight Club? Yeah, but then you can't talk about it, Robert, RG. 18864. And it does appear we're kind of consolidating here at 865. 900 would be the upside target here in the event that this climbs up, and then after that, we'll look to pre-market highs, but we're just kind of pinned at the moment. Makes soap. His name was Robert Paulson. Hey, y'all see oil? Did y'all see oil? Yahtzee. Yahtzee. And I'm spelling Yahtzee. Instead of Z-E-E, it's S-I. Because yes. Yahtzee. And it bottom twicked right off of it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm rolling my stops down to oil down to 79.50. And I'm Monos Erebus for the rest of the day. Let's see if I can get that 78.60 now. Killer freaking trade. Love it. That right there is the importance of pre-market action, of pre-market market analysis. If I didn't do my pre-market analysis, I would have not have seen that trade. Joke Motor is having a hard time turning over lately. It is. I've used up all my juice. If you buck, if you buck, if you buck. 3 yachts, a yacht being a yacht C. Oh my gosh. I would never buy a yacht. I don't care how rich I ever got. Nice. Nice, Jonathan. I hope to be aboard it. Hope to be aboard it. I'm a land guy. All my wealth is going to go into land. Yeah, look in the stream analysis tab. You'll see the oil. Just read that first, and then I'll explain it this morning. Show the lean. Still waiting right here. 52.93. If ES were to capture, we'll be going for this liquidity up here on 53.10. They're doubling down on. Let me see where the GEX is flipping. The GEX on SPX is still 52.75, although they are just now starting to build a little bit at 52.95. So you see some option chain exposure coming on 52.95. But 52.75 is very, very much still the major level. Very, very slow price action, obviously. Well, let me know if you don't, Ethan. Now, since my thesis has been met, I will not allow any major bounce. Other than 1 or 2 green candles, I will not allow any major bounce. In fact, if this thing even closes green, I'll be stopping out of the trade. Do you have CL on Bookmap? I do, right here. 78.60 is the main level. That's why I want to give it a chance, but I'm not going to allow this thing to bounce. I'm in a CL short, but that's it. I've been in the CL short since pre-market. No more NQ. I've taken 2 NQ trades today. 1 long, 1 short. I'm currently not in any more NQ. Yeah, TLT puts would have done great. Yeah, I think Trader Dre had some poots, didn't he? Was the weakening volume on your ups to the upside to your CL trade also an indicator that might reject this SR level? Yes. Nice. Declining volume on increasing price. And also if you're coming into a macro pivot. Heck, I may hold this trade all week if I can get this thing lower. Maybe I won't. God. If this thing could take out 70 at 60, I might could recap at least half of this move, which would be beautiful. CL still dropping 49.40.30 retest. $15-minute NASDAQ is only green. Yep. It's now 11 o'clock. We have 20 minutes or so, 28 minutes until Euro close. I'm still watching to see what's going to happen here. ES is dropping back over 59.92, 52.92 on a little downward channel. They've got a little liquid here at 72.90. Upside is 53.08. Can you use Quant Tower for Apex / Tradeovate accounts? Apex, yes. Tradeovate, no. Any decent alternative? Nope. Tradeovate is Tradeovate, so you need rhythmic data. So it's rhythmic only. So if you do sign up for a Top Step account, then just make sure you're selecting Quant Tower. And you should be able to link both accounts. Was looking at a chart regarding stock performance holding overnight versus intraday. Is there a good gabagoo to be made doing the same with options in a good swing than dumping it in the morning? Yep. In fact, you know that 91% video I made? That was driven from that exact thesis. The whole reason why we are here, why this server is created, and why that post went viral on Reddit is from that exact theory. I caught on to that in 2020, and I would buy calls at the close and close them at the open. Literally, it was like 91 or 92% win rate. I couldn't miss. And then it stopped working in 2020 or late 2021. I heard Top Step I rolled $750,000 accounts. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Top Step allows you to link counts now. Nice, yeah. Another test on oil. There's always some sort of way to make money like that. You have to switch up the game up. Oh, yeah. So I have to trade all my Tradeovate accounts? No, Tradeovate has a replicator. Now, it sucks, but it works. You have to do groups, yeah. And the reason why it sucks, like if you have like 5 accounts on Tradeovate and you want to short one contract each, you actually have to put in a quantity of 5 unless you actually change your settings. So you have to make sure you set your settings properly. Whereas the quant tower, it's just you do one for one contract and it replicates the trade across all of them. Yep. Where's the bottom wick? Not yet. What's the profit target at 750,000 going to be? 40K? Probably. Probably be more like 18 or 20K. Nice little red engulfing here. Beautiful. Can you group accounts from different prop firms? I've never tried it, but I've been told you can. Like guys have had 3 or 4 different prop companies, and they've got like 80 accounts total they're trading on Apex. Does it do ratio-wise? No, it does not. Tradeovate is not nearly as capable as Quant Tower, so I would use Tradeovate with caution, or select to use Tradeovate with caution. CL is dropping again, 79.37. See if I get down. Still a nice strong downtrend on oil. Let's keep it going, baby. Let's keep it going. $18,847 dropping back over. My San Marzano tomatoes are getting pretty big. It's about time to start trellising them. 18,845 still dropping. 52.87. NASDAQ just took off the 18,880 and dropping large red engulfing. Large move. Nice. 30, 40 point move right there. Nvidia is coming off hard. VIX is popping right on back up. Oil is dropping still. Beautiful. You are wrong. SPX does not get Section 1256 tax ramifications. Gotta love the internet. Gotta love the internet. Y'all know what I put up with on the daily basis. Oh, man. 838. Coming off here. Well, if you're right, Ohm, you should do it for me and prove me wrong. What do you mean? Oh, multiple trade of it accounts. Oh, to the taxes. Yeah. Do my taxes for me instead of reading the tax code. Yeah. I was planning on getting a Top Step account, but I hold off for now. You can get a Top Step account, but just when you go to select your broker, just don't do Tradeovate. You know, they trade Top Step offers like 5 different brokers. All right, we are coming up on 11:30. It's been a very slow day, very slow grinding price action. Haven't taken too many trades today, so we're just watching at the moment. Nasdaq still holding 840. Let's get a little 15-minute. 15-minute, we've had declining volume the whole time. We've had a hammer candle at 10:15. Now an engulfing red that's beginning to put a small bottom wick with light volume, of course. And I still have to say, I know, excuse me, I know of the last year, there's been a lot of increasing conversation on prop firms. I am still of the opinion your primary goal should be to fund your own personal account and trade that. Case in point, this CL move today. I had to stop out on my prop firms on the CL trade, but I still held my real trade all the way down. So I still think there's a huge benefit to funding your own account and putting money in your own account. I would hopefully you do that first. The prop firms tip your toes into it to begin with, and then if you're good enough to make some money off of it, then sure do that. So, little disclaimer there. It's a different type of trading. I don't have a clue, but I bet you know how long did Mania and Tesla stock stick around? This is wearing me out. About 2 years. About 2 years. I mean, it was nearly just as ridiculous as Nvidia. Um, Tesla stock went from $25 to $415. I mean, it was just as ridiculous. And you know, everyone was trying to justify their price action being correlated to valuation of the company, and obviously it was not. And here we are. They peaked in November of 2021, and their price action has fallen from 407 to 175, and Nvidia will do the exact same thing. Nvidia will most likely end up under 400 when it's all said and done, when the smoke clears, if not further. Because that's the way this stuff works. That's the way this stuff works. One second. 18837. One sec. All right. Oh man. That's when the gov goes to digital currency. Yeah. Which level do you think Nasdaq has to break first to get low of day? 815. Let's take a look. Nasdaq. Nasdaq. All right. So, in order to get down to low of the day of 815, we're talking about down to 750. First, we got to get through the 8. I would say 800. Now, it's probably more like 809, 808, but let's just call it an even 800. You got to get through 800 first before we're getting down to the 750. So that's the first target here, because we have some little bit of basis here at 810 and 800, and once we get through that, we'll play down to low of the day. Do you think the world will run to crypto in the future? I don't know, man. Right now, the problem with crypto is that there's no intrinsic value on it. I guess there's no intrinsic value on the dollar either. So I think that's the biggest fear with the crypto is big money putting it into it is the fact that I guess it could just go away in an instant. I mean, look what happened to my father-in-law. You know, high six figures gone in a click of a text message. So, you know, I don't know. I don't have that good of insight. Yeah, it was back in the Bitcoin craze. Ooh, 18800 is coming on. It was back in the Bitcoin craze in the 2000s, 2020, 21. He had a lot of money in it, and you know he had a high six figures, and he got a phishing text message, and he clicked on it, and it wiped his account. How long do you suggest someone trade at one size before slowly increasing size? That really depends on you. I mean, that could be 3 months, it could be 5 months. I would make it at least one quarter of trading one particular position size. I haven't increased my position size for the most part in like a year and a half, 2 years. I still trade with the same exact position sizing I did 2 years ago. But that's really up to you. You know, what kind of person are you? Do you like, if you're good with trading, you know, 100 grand position sizing and you have $1 million account, then by all means go for it. Every time I try to turn up my position size, I tend to get smoked. So I keep things exactly where I am. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. There's a new scam called pig butchering. It started in Asia, now it's making its way in USA. What's that? Girl texts you, makes you friend with you, tells you invest in crypto, and they send out a fake, almost identical Coinbase link, and they steal all your crypto. Ah, terrible. Man, that's dangerous. You're tying in finances with the opposite sex. That's a bad combination. Especially you get these dudes that've been in their mom's basement who's never seen another female. I got a girlfriend. Click. Hey, why does my account say 0? Not much different than a real girlfriend. I love it. Badumch. I love it. I don't mind taking dollars when it's a loss because I know it sucks. But taking dollars on wins can be discouraging for small accounts. I don't know why psychology is weird. Yep. Revisit lows end of day or nah? Well, I would say yes. I would say yes, but I was not as confident as yesterday. Today they did roll off liquidity from 875 down to 800 right here. So that makes it gives it a little pull down. ES also removed upper liquidity and put on 82.75, so it's possible. It's possible. I might hit the old dusty trail here, though, and not take another trade after this. Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and call this a day. Price action is pretty tight. We're just starting doing a lot of yapping. People are starting to kind of mosey on out anyway, so I'm going to call it a day. The kids are asking for lunch anyway, so I got to go make a little lunch. Any questions about anything? I try to give a good thesis about the oil trade in the stream analysis channel. 2 trades for me on NASDAQ, 1 long, 1 short. And that is it. That is it. Every day we make a little money. Yep. My goal right now is, honestly, I could care less. I could care less about any kind of scalps, even as good as they are. I'm trying to figure out the good, warm, and fuzzies to get me into a swing trade. And once I figure that out, I will let y'all know. That's the one I'm trying to go for. So, if you have any questions about anything, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all bright and early tomorrow. Tomorrow we have... Oh, crap. Today's Wednesday. I have Bookmap in 5 minutes. I can't sign off. I have to switch to Bookmap. Yeah, it's Wednesday. So, I got to go do that. I would have made $1 million too if it hadn't been for those meddling kids. Yeah. What's happening with SPY right now? Is it a trend up failure? Yeah. All right, I'm going to sign off of this and go grab me a drink, and I'm going to sign off for Bookmap. My notification just came up. So, I'm out. See you!